Imagine you're coming into a sharp curve and you feel it instantly. That sudden spike of adrenaline. Your brain screams that you're going too fast, and what you do next determines whether you ride home safely or become a statistic. Because in that split second, your natural human survival instincts will actually try to kill you. Your hands want to grab the brakes, your eyes want to stare straight at the guardrail, and your entire body freezes up. Today we're looking at the hard data behind why riders crash in corners, and more importantly, the psychology that causes it. So we're going to break down 3 flawed instincts that pull riders into the trap, and exactly what skilled riders do automatically to stay smooth, to lean deep, and to stay in control. My name's Kevin. Welcome back to this week's video here on MCrider. The panic brake reflex. To understand why corners are so dangerous, we have to look at the data. According to federal crash statistics, single vehicle accidents make up nearly half of all motorcycle fatalities. Even more shocking, one study on motorcycle safety found that most fatal single vehicle crashes happen on curves, even though curves make up only a tiny fraction of the actual mileage that we ride. The vast majority of these crashes aren't caused by oil slicks or mechanical failures. They're caused by riders failing to negotiate the curve and running straight off the road. And the root cause of that failure is almost always the panic brake reflex. So imagine entering a curve a little faster than you intended. Your brain instantly registers a threat, and your survival instincts take over. That instinct tells you to slam on the brakes to slow down. But on a motorcycle, grabbing a handful of front brake mid-corner is one of the most dangerous things that you can do. The moment you apply heavy front braking while leaned over, the physics of the motorcycle start to change. The suspension compresses, the chassis stiffens, and the bike actively wants to stand up straight. Or if you apply even more front brake, you lock that front tire up and you crash in a low side crash. When the bike stands up, it stops turning. So suddenly, instead of leaning deeper into the safety of your lane, you're positioned in a straight line directly towards oncoming traffic or the guardrail you're trying to avoid. You've just turned a manageable corner into an immediate crisis, all because you followed your human instinct to stop. Skilled riders train themselves to override this reflex entirely. At street speeds, they don't panic. They rely on structured techniques like the classic slow look press and roll, or they utilize trail braking to carry brake pressure smoothly into the turn. While both of these techniques are valuable in some respect or another, advanced riders often favor trail braking in dynamic situations for a few key reasons. One, it offers chassis stability. So keeping light brake pressure on the front tire as you lean compresses the front forks, which changes the steering geometry and actually helps the motorcycle turn more easily. It also gives you real-time speed adjustment. So unlike slow look press and roll, which requires you to do all of your braking in a straight line before the turn, before you lean it over, trail braking allows you to continuously adjust your speed and your line mid-corner if the radius tightens up unexpectedly. And it gives you reflex management. So if you're already lightly trailing on the brakes into a corner, your fingers are already on the lever. So you've eliminated the transition time and the panic-induced grab that crashes motorcycles in a lot of curves. So when a curve gets tight, a skilled rider's instinct isn't to stop, it's to keep their input smooth, to manage their suspension, and to trust the lean. So if you enjoy videos like this, consider becoming a member. You'll get access to the forums and a free field guide book for pro members if you pay for 1 year in advance. And most of all, you'll make it possible for me to make videos just like this that are saving riders' lives every week. Target fixation versus head turn. That brings us to our second survival instinct, and it's one that works hand in hand with the panic brake reflex. Target fixation. Human beings are hardwired to look directly at a threat. So if a predator jumps out of a bush, you don't look at your escape route, you stare at the danger that's coming at you. On a motorcycle, when a corner starts going wrong, that threat is usually a guardrail, a ditch, or oncoming traffic. Your instinct forces your eyes to look directly at the threat or the hazard. The problem is that a motorcycle goes exactly where you look. So if you're staring at the guardrail, your hands and your body will subtly steer the motorcycle directly towards it. In safety research, investigators consistently find a crash scene where a motorcycle ran wide off the asphalt and hit a single isolated object, like a telephone pole or a signpost. With miles of open space around it, the rider didn't hit it because they couldn't avoid it. They hit it because they couldn't look away from it. So skilled riders override this biology with a disciplined, aggressive head turn. They physically move their eyes, their head, their chin, and point their nose in the direction that they want the motorcycle to go. When you force your vision down the road to where you actually want the bike to be, it breaks the panic cycle. Your brain registers the open space instead of the hazard. Your upper body relaxes and the motorcycle follows that line of sight through the curve. If you want to survive tight corners, you have to master your vision. Stop looking at what you're trying to avoid and turn your head and look for the exit of that turn. You can practice this on every single ride by actively pointing your nose where you want the motorcycle to go. So you point your nose, you turn your head, you put your eyes, you fix your eyes on where you want the motorcycle to go. And as speeds increase, the need for this technique increases as well. Age versus skill. Our third and final topic addresses a hard truth that is often backed up by modern crash data: the age versus skill trap. When we look at motorcycle statistics, there's a common misconception that young, aggressive sport bike riders make up the vast majority of cornering fatalities. But the data reveals a very different story. Over the last several years, fatal crash statistics show a major spike in single vehicle cornering accidents involving mature riders, specifically those aged 40, 50, and older. This happens because of a dangerous intersection between a rider's confidence and their actual technical proficiency. Many riders who return to the sport after a long break, or those who graduate to heavier cruisers or a touring bike later in life, assume that their years of experience equal skill. But street experience at best only teaches some strategy. It offers some traffic management and some road awareness. It does not automatically improve your physical, technical control over a motorcycle when a corner tightens up unexpectedly. The real issue here isn't the motorcycle, it's our muscle memory. So if you took a break from riding for 20 years and if you ride only in straight lines on highways over the weekends, your emergency cornering reflexes are rusty. Street riding teaches you how to navigate traffic, but it doesn't maintain your physical control of the bike to a degree that you need it in an emergency. So when a corner suddenly requires maximum lean or a sudden adjustment, a lack of recent deliberate practice means your brain will default to panic instead of technique. So age and experience give us some wisdom to manage risk, but they cannot override the laws of physics. Skilled riders understand that motorcycle mastery has an expiration date if it isn't constantly maintained. They don't rely on the passage of time to make them better. They actively practice drills and challenge their limits in a controlled environment and treat riding as a perishable skill that demands continuous training. So overcoming these three survival instincts isn't something that happens naturally. It requires you to actively replace your biology with trained, deliberate technique. That's why I don't just talk about theory here on MCrider. I focus on specific practical exercises that you can take with you onto a parking lot this weekend and build the muscle memory that's found in the field guide that will help you in those emergency situations out on the street. All the links you need to get the field guide are on the screen and in the description of this video. Until next week, guys, this is Kevin with MCrider, and I'll see you on the road.